Good morning. I am Amy Gatula and I am with NFM Live Streams, and I am joined here today by the lovely Cassie. She is with the Whirlpool Corporation, and today we are going to highlight a few things about laundry and just get a little education out there on some of the new innovations that Whirlpool has going on and talk about some of their models and things to that nature. So welcome along, and please feel free to comment during this live stream. We are here to answer any questions, and we also have our customer service team in here as well to help filter through questions. So with that being said, Cassie, would you start to walk us through some of these models and some of these exciting products and new innovations you guys have going on here with Whirlpool?
Absolutely, yes. So first and foremost, thank you guys so much for having us. We're so fortunate to be here today. And as you said, we do want to highlight just the breadth of innovation that we have within the Whirlpool laundry lineup. And specifically, we're going to start with our front load line, and we're going to be focusing primarily on that innovation with freshness.
Okay.
And so I'm curious, do you know what the number one complaint is from a front load consumer for what they have issues with for their product?
I'm going to say maybe just sometimes how hard it is, like the bending over, the concept of bending over and getting your laundry out, maybe.
Yeah,
is that it?
You know what? It's fair. Not exactly what I was going for, but it is fair. That is a concern. The number one concern that we found through research is actually issues with freshness.
Oh, that would totally make sense.
When you
totally
have to seal the unit itself. Yes, of course. So it gets a little bit stinky sometimes. And so what Whirlpool understands is we want to really innovate actual features and benefits that will address those consumer concerns so that we can make sure that we're putting features forward for that consumer. Let's start with the 4 series. This is our 4 series, our WFW 4720, and this is our first foray into the front load lineup and our true opening price point.
Okay.
So we started here with obviously some really good features and benefits, but the one that we're focused on primarily focused on freshness is going to be that tumble fresh. So if you see here, we have our tumble fresh feature.
Okay.
And that tumble fresh is going to focus on tumbling intermittently your clothes once the load is actually done.
Okay.
And you're able to have about 12 hours of tumbling, so that in case you're worried about the stench or the mold and mildew buildup, that you won't have to worry because it will continue to intermittently tumble your clothing. So in case you forget your clothes in there and you don't have to rewash them.
Yeah, because how many times do you go for a trip or you know, an overnight stay, you're working, you're coming to Omaha, Nebraska to do a live stream with us, and you forget your clothes that are in the washer. That's actually a really great feature that I love. And now that you say that, that smell, that funk that I think so many of us have had before with that, you know, it's that stereotypical smell you have when your clothes have been in there too long. So just to highlight again, you would hit this when you're picking your cycle. Do you hit this at the beginning or the end?
Yes, so either one. So you can do, select your cycle. Let's pretend we're just going to do some heavy duty towels here. We had a lot of big towel day for cleaning at our house. And then what you will do is you select that cycle. You can select the tumble fresh option, which will be a cycle adder, which will then extend the time of tumbling after the load is done so that you do have that extended 12 hours afterwards.
That makes sense. Oh my gosh, that is an incredible feature.
Absolutely. So that was at least our first foray into freshness. But it doesn't stop there, because we wanted to make sure that throughout every price point within the lineup that we were addressing the freshness issue with our consumers. So if you'd like, we can step to our next unit that highlights even bigger benefits for our consumers around that freshness story.
And we were talking a little bit about too, before we move on, which I would love to, is how white is kind of having this comeback. I think, you know, we're seeing a lot of more of the white appliances within the industry. And I think it's something we saw a little bit in the 90s, and then it's tailored off a little bit, but it's just something I want to call out is just, I think it has that sleek look to it with the chrome. It just looks really sharp. And these are really some pretty units actually too, just very sleek.
Aesthetically pleasing.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. No, we've definitely seen an interest in some lighter, brighter colorways when it comes to our feature and color sets. We do, of course, still have our a little bit deeper colors like our Radiant Silver or our Volcano Black. But for those customers that do like the tried and true white, we have that as well.
Awesome. These are great. Beautiful, beautiful. And again, these
Amazing.
are the opening price point, kind of their story to the freshness and kind of starting that story with the freshness. So
Absolutely.
yeah, let's carry on. Let's see what else you got in the arsenal.
I like it. So yes, if we're going to move up the line, so we're going to start then here with our 5 series. So that was our 4720, and this is going to be our 5720 unit. So this is the first foray into our true systematic approach to handling freshness.
Got it.
So while we did have that freshness addressed in the OPP, we did want to expand the benefits so that we really can encompass holistically what our consumers are facing. Excuse me. So first and foremost, that system that is made up of our antimicrobial gasket. So that is an actual rubber infused with antimicrobial elements that allows to mitigate any odor or mildew buildup so that we can really focus on that freshness story. But in addition, it's not just that. We also have our Fan Fresh item. So that Fan Fresh item is a step above what Tumble Fresh is.
Okay, I was just going to ask it. It seemed like the same concept, but is it a little different?
Just a little bit of a step up.
Okay.
So instead of just having those clothes tumble for 12 hours, we have actually added a fan into the unit so that it can help blow actual like not moist air within the actual unit itself so it can stay fresher even longer.
That makes total sense. Okay.
Absolutely. But then the last portion of this systematic approach we talk about is actually the dry drum cycle. And so if you've ever heard someone talk about, you know, I hate that my front loader, I have to keep all of the doors open when I'm done with all of my laundry day in and day out. Obviously, that's a hassle.
Yeah.
And with this model, we wanted to address that concern. So what you can do, let's say you've done your 3 loads of laundry and you've thrown your last load into the dryer. You then would select the dry drum cycle here, and then you would have that, turn it on and run it, close this door. And it would run for a total of 4 hours.
Okay.
Where it extracts the moisture from the cavity of the unit itself so that you can keep this door closed and still have that fresh cavity inside.
Oh, that is so compelling. I love that.
Yeah.
And I just too, it drives me nuts when I have all of my doors open to my washers and dryers. So I just love that you can close it, shut it. It'll dry on its own. Keep that freshness story going.
Absolutely.
Cassie, we actually have some great questions coming in that I would love to run by you.
Yes.
Do these models, starting back with the OPP, which is opening price point, I apologize, has my merchandising coming out. Does that model have a quick wash?
Yes,
and do all of these have quick wash?
Yes, they do. And that is a great question.
Oh, fantastic.
So all of these models do have a quick wash, and it is a 25-minute quick wash.
Oh.
So you can throw that in there, get that real quick, and then keep on going.
And then what about the dryer? How long is it, like, as a quick dry?
Yeah, so it depends really on what the actual material is in there. Because if you think about it, quick would infer hotter. And you don't necessarily want your clothes to get really hot and then potentially shrink. So we do have a quicker cycle, but not necessarily as quick as you would think, maybe closer to like 30 minutes or so. We do have that feature right here, but it's not going to be the true super speed that some might think, because we don't want to burn all of our clothes.
Yeah. And I guess that does make sense when I think about athletic wear. You don't want it necessarily hotter.
Yes.
And it does dry pretty quick on its own or quickly anyway.
Absolutely.
Noise. That's been a couple questions from you guys, is the noise, which I think is actually a really great call because, you know, I know you think washer and dryers, there's always a lot of noise. How are you guys combating that at Whirlpool?
Yes. So on select models, we do have a direct drive system that does help mitigate the noise concerns. So that's something that is a feature set that we like to tout. However, I'd love to know from your consumer team if they have experienced certain noise issues and maybe how we suggest them to mitigate that. Because I know sometimes it has to do with the leveling of the floor, or sometimes the walking will happen. So I'd love to know kind of from your team's perspective what maybe their go-tos are. You know?
Yeah, that's actually a great question, is if you are having those noises, where are they coming from? Is it something, to Cassie's point, is it the leveling of the floor or things to that nature? Or is it the actual product that you're getting that noise from that's maybe bothering you? So that's a great question. Can you fit a king comforter in these models?
Yes, you can. And so a king comforter you can fit absolutely with a 5 series. And so this is when this is our 4.5, excuse me, our 4.5 capacity. Okay. This is also 4.5. That will be a little tight, but you can technically still fit. However, what we would recommend if you're going to be cleaning your comforter, your king comforter frequently, would actually be to step up to our next iteration, which is our 6 series. And that's where we expand into our 5 cubic foot capacity.
Oh, okay, perfect. That makes sense. And there is a question about colorations, but I almost want us to finish here because I know that there's a little bit of a color story that goes along with the models. So if you all are okay with that, we're going to talk about the different kinds of finishes and colors that you can get in these once we finish up with this last model.
Amazing.
Last question. Does the rubber get dirty and get mildew on it? Which I think is kind of, again, going over that freshness story,
I like
right?
It's a layup for me, yes, because no, that is why we've impregnated the actual rubber itself with the antimicrobial feature set so that it does not get that mold and mildew buildup on there. It reflects it, but restricts it. Restricts the ability for that mold and mildew to build up.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And a great question too from our viewers. One thing I failed to mention at the beginning of this, we do have a $300 gift card that we are giving away during this live stream. So please comment during the live stream and you are entered to win. And also I do want to call out, we do have this assortment in all 3 of our locations, actually all 4 of our locations. That's Des Moines, Omaha, Nebraska, which is where we are today, Kansas City, and Dallas. So you can find this assortment in all of these. So just want to make that call out. Oh, this is another kind of question. Which washer is best for doing if you have pets and the laundry associated with a pet, like blankets and such? Is there one that you would suggest over the other? Or, I mean,
so that's a great question. We do actually have another brand under the Whirlpool Corporation umbrella called Maytag. Yes. And our Maytag has a specific feature set both within the front load and the top load space that focuses on pets itself. Okay. As far as actual cycles or models within the Whirlpool lineup, there isn't anything that's specifically targeting an actual pet consumer.
Makes sense.
However, our recommendation as of now would be to either utilize a sanitized cycle for some of the pet and not mildew, but the fibers that you get from the buildup. Dander. That's the word.
I know. I was thinking that. I got you.
Yes.
I got you, girl.
So yes, the dander. And so we do recommend actually having that sanitized cycle.
Makes sense.
And that can be seen on any single iteration of the lineup for Whirlpool Corporation.
And I would say I've had animals and I've always used the sanitize, and that has seemed to do the trick, or use a warmer water as well. So warranty. Are there warranties associated with these models or Whirlpool models in general?
Yes. So it is the 1-year standard manufacturer's warranty on every single model you're going to be seeing today that we walk through. And then on certain select parts like a motor or any other high-tech, high-end feature, it will be a 2-year coverage.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And that's just going to be model specific.
Okay, so 1 or 2 years, depending on your model. And of course, our sales associates are very well versed in all of this and educated, so they can help walk you through those warranties as well. And we always have extended warranty options too. So that's something to keep in mind that we at NFM offer. So
absolutely.
All right, great. Let's carry on.
I like it.
Are we good here? Or
yes,
was there anything else we want to highlight?
No, I think we're good here. We were talking about that fresh flow vent system and it truly being a system. And I can show then too, if we want to transition slightly over to this 6 series.
Perfect.
And we were able to maintain that true system from that 5, over to the 6. And the only real difference between these 2 models is going to be the capacity, which we talked about earlier with the King Comforter. And that 4.5 would be fine, but it would be much easier to do a King Comforter more frequently at a 5 cubic foot capacity, which is going to be in our 6720 Whirlpool unit, which is the one we're right here. And then the only other difference is that this model has steam in the dryer, whereas the 5 series does not.
So steam and dryer, I have wrinkly pants.
Yes.
I'm doing, ironically, a live stream today.
Absolutely.
Throw them in there. They're going to
absolutely
steam them. I'm not an ironing girl.
See, I'm not either.
Very good with
I don't even touch that.
Nope.
That's
too much
for
admin.
my mother. She's really good. Far too much admin. That's not our thing.
That's not our thing.
No.
Nope.
So yes, that is a perfect way to utilize
Okay,
that
great.
as well.
I love
Give it just
that
a little
feature.
steam refresh.
Steam refresh, a little bit larger for that king comforter. Not to say that that model beforehand couldn't handle it. It seems like it, but this is something like if you
a little bit more space, a little bit more
kids
frequent
washing a lot, you may want to upgrade to the larger unit, it seems like.
Absolutely. But I do just want to end on that. While all of this innovation is important within the Whirlpool lineup, the number one feature that we've really innovated targeted that number one consumer-led issue of the freshness. And I know that the Fresh Flow vent system itself is something that really is industry leading and cutting edge. So I know we have a video if we want to actually show that. So our team, if we want to take that video away, that would be great.
The Tumble Fresh option keeps clothes in the washer fresh with periodic tumbling until they're ready for the dryer. Finish laundry in under an hour with a 25-minute quick wash and 30-minute timed dry in the matching dryer. Whirlpool. Everyday care.
I'll just say something and we can go to the next one.
Next video.
The Fresh Flow vent system is a trio of freshness features designed to help keep your clothes and washer fresh. The Fan Fresh option helps clothes stay fresh in the washer with a built-in fan and tumbling, and uses less energy than rewashing. Select the dry drum cycle to help reduce excess moisture in the drum and door. Antimicrobial protection on the rubber seal helps prevent the growth of odor-causing bacteria. Finish laundry in under an hour with a 25-minute quick wash and 30-minute timed dry in the matching dryer. And get efficient cleaning performance with AI Intelligent Wash. Whirlpool. Everyday care.
Thank you guys so much. So hopefully that was super informative and helped re-illustrate the features of the freshness both within the Tumble Fresh and our opening price point unit, the 4720, as well as the Fresh Flow vent system, both within the 5720 and 6720.
I love the education you are bringing to the table because I'll be honest, I'm in the market for a new washer and dryer. So you're really helping me understand and educate me a little bit more on just some of the features, especially someone who, you know, this is a little out of my realm. Like if you're talking shoes, tops, jeans, I'm there.
We know the shoes, tops, and jeans.
Yep, I'm
Let's
here.
go.
Yes,
exactly.
This is just a little different territory for me. So I appreciate your educating us. We do have a couple different questions. First, I want to talk about the color story. I know that there's different colorations on each of these models. Can you highlight that a little bit, Cassie?
Absolutely. So on our 4 series, we are just keeping that tried and true, super easy, just
white.
the white.
Okay.
And so we're just keeping with that. But if
Adam, I don't know if you want to highlight this guy. Sorry.
Yeah, if we move up the line, so this is going to be the 4 series, just the white. That's the only color. But then if we move up one, that's when we have the full breadth of the color story.
Okay,
so that's where the white happens, the volcano black, and also the radiant silver. And that continues with the 6 series and the same 3 color iterations.
Oh, fantastic. Someone actually made the comment. I got my front load washer and dryer at NFM 2 years ago, and I love them. So thank you for that comment. That's so great. And reminder, comment and you are entered to win in a $300 gift card that you could put towards a new Whirlpool washer and dryer, or quite frankly, anything else that you want. Just remember, comment during today's live and you are entered to win automatically. Perfect. Let's walk and talk and maybe look at a couple more different options if we feel good about, you know, all the features here.
Absolutely.
Again, we have 4 different locations. We have Des Moines, Omaha, Nebraska, Kansas City, and Dallas, Texas, where you can find this full assortment, as well as, again, Omaha, where we are here today. Now, what I'm super excited about is this bad boy, because one, I just love a stacked look.
Yes.
For you know, to add a little bit of what's the spacing and such. So yeah, that was a tough word too. A little bit of spacing, and I know that there's a ton of really cool new features that Whirlpool has coming up and that have been embedded into this particular unit.
Absolutely. Yes. So what's great is this is what we actually launched here in February of this year. And we realized the success of the Fresh Flow vent system within the 5 and 6 series. So we obviously didn't want to get rid of that. And we were able to incorporate this into our towers lineup. And so this is our first foray into a true towers market. And fun little fact for everyone, true unitized towers only actually hit the market in 2020. And so within a 5-year time span, it has grown to encompass 5% of the entire front load line of the entire industry, not just Whirlpool, not just any of our competitors,
So
everyone.
Why is that? I mean, I
Absolutely.
understand pandemic and things like that, but why is that?
Well, if you think about it, we're not new to stacking units, right? We're pretty common. We how many times have we seen a washer and dryer stack? That's common. But if you remember, when you stack a washer and dryer, the dryer often has its control board up above. And while I'm a very tall person, not all of our consumers are. So
that would be a little bit of a stretch for me. That would be a stretch. That makes sense.
It's difficult to be able to actually see that. And when we've been seeing the stacking rates increase over the years, we've realized that this is something that the industry really does want.
Yeah.
And within a 5-year time span, to increase to 5 to 7% of the whole market is insane. And so that's why we were so excited to be able to come out with this. And we were able to keep that Fresh Flow vent system that I spoke about previously, but we added an even deeper layer of innovation, which if you see here, you can see this tub right here is all highlighted blue. Ooh, So what does that mean? So that is showcasing our UV blue light technology, which is the industry's first to utilize UV blue light technology within the washing machine itself.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And so what does that mean?
Yeah.
Right? The UV technology itself is a cycle adder that allows us to more effectively and efficiently remove germs and bacteria from the water itself while you are going and actually having your load run, so that you can have a little bit more durable and reliable clean within the actual cycle itself. And so this is something that you can add to almost any single cycle.
Okay.
The only ones are like utility you can't use, and then the quick wash, because then if you add it, it would no longer be a quick wash.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
But otherwise, you are able to incorporate that into any of the cycles that we have on here. And as a fun fact, we have actually won significant awards in the 2-3 months that we've had this launched, showcasing that innovation and targeting what that consumer need is for the Whirlpool consumer. So we're extremely excited to have it not only on this model, but future iterations as we're coming out with new products in 2027.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I just love to, like, especially with kids and things to that nature, I do like that extra little step of getting their clothes clean, making sure there's that antimicrobial feature in things. That was a really hard word for me earlier, folks.
We got it.
It was hard. We do have a couple different questions here. Are there any phone app capabilities that, with any of these models, really?
Yes, so there are. So we do have smart features throughout the entire lineup.
Oh, fantastic.
And so they span the scope of either just true connectivity for service. So it's not something that maybe the consumer would really interface with, but more that the service teams, let's say something goes wrong with your unit, they'd be able to remote diagnose type of thing. That's the concept. Whereas then if you continue to go up the line, you have a little bit more flexibility where you can remote start your unit. You can have updates when the laundry is done. You can download specific cycles that are custom cycles for you that are going to be on your machine, so that you can have a little bit more flexibility when you're actually washing your clothes, in addition to a lot of other features. But those are just some of the top ones that we have for smart features.
And then, of course, there's the freshness story, which I just think is such a huge highlight here.
Yeah.
And this, I think, plays in well to the freshness story, is should you leave the washer door open after washing?
I love.
Don't you love that question?
I know,
like,
another
bring it up. Yes.
I love. So you do not have to. If your machine has the cycle feature, the fresh flow vent system. You no longer have to keep your washer door open when you are done with your unit because of a feature called the dry drum cycle. And we talked about it briefly before, but the dry drum cycle essentially utilizes the fan that we've embedded within the machine itself to extract all of the moist air within the cavity so that you can have a truly fresh new unit every single time that you use your laundry machine.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much, Cassie.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk through here too is just kind of some of the highlights. Like before we started this live, you were kind of, beep, boop, boop, being.
Absolutely.
Can you just kind of talk about the ease of using this? And I know there's a few changes that are coming up to some of the models, but can you just walk us through this piece a little bit?
Absolutely.
And highlight it?
Yeah. You want to switch with
Yep,
me?
I will.
I love. So yes, and don't be spooked because we just have this on right now, no demo mode, but it's just to display the blue tee right here. But this does, we want to showcase the dual interfaces that we have. And based on consumer research, we have found that this is actually specifically targeting what that Whirlpool consumer is interested in. They want the touch and feel of the specific knobs as opposed to overwhelming amounts of technology. You can see that all of our specific features that are new and innovative are highlighted in yellow. So we already talked about that dry drum cycle. We talked about the UV clean and the fan fresh. Something we didn't talk about was the hand wash cycle. And this is something that is actually really fun and a new innovation for us that we, over the past maybe 5 years or so, have seen an increase in the amount of fabrics requiring hand wash over just delicate or whatnot. I don't know about you as a fellow clothes girly. We love wearing all different types of clothing, right? However, I am not going to sit and hurt my back, have my stuff in the tub.
What do you even do? What do we even do today? How do you even?
I don't know.
Is hand wash self-explanatory? Because I don't feel like it is.
Right? Exactly.
I don't feel like it is.
No, exactly. And so if you're like me, I have a spare laundry basket of clothes that are just piled high that I cannot wear anymore because I'm not going to hand wash them myself.
Yep.
So that's kind of a waste.
No hand wash, folks.
100%. So this is mitigating that issue for our consumers.
And it
allows you to select this cycle. And instead of a delicate wash, which does still turn over the clothes while it's cleaning, the hand wash is more of a cradle wash so that it just shakes the clothes, which is a true hand wash cycle. It saves our consumers back, so no one has to get hurt.
And
it has our clothes exactly, and no one wants to do that.
No
exactly right.
That.
So we're really trying, as I said, consumer led and focusing on that innovation being specific for our consumers.
Oh, great! Thank you.
Yeah.
How do you clean the filter on the dryer?
Ooh, the filter on the dryer. Well, let's see. Let's open this up. I'm assuming this is what you mean, the filter, and it is just like any single other. So it's very simple and easy to do. You just clean this out just like you do any single other unit, and you put that back in.
I will say I have myself, if this is another question, we do have some smaller vacuums that have attachments that you can come in once you pull this out to kind of get in there any extra and that's just I think standard with any washer and dryer or any dryer. Sometimes you just need to get the extra clean in there, but we have some great vacuum attachments and such that could help you with that as well.
Absolutely. NFM has it all.
We have it all. And just remember, comment and you are entered to win a $300 gift card. We are here. We are rolling with some great questions. You guys are doing a great job at, just asking away on some things.
We love engagement.
We love engagement. So let's keep walking and talking maybe see what else we have in store. I do have a question, which I think will get highlighted on this next model is the gas or electric, because I was mentioning that to you on a model of why was there a difference in price point on some of these models?
Yes.
And that makes sense is there's a gas model and an electric model.
Absolutely right. So at least within the Whirlpool lineup, you are much more inclined to see your washing machine and your electric dryer be around the same price, whereas our gas models are going to be about $100 higher on average, just to account for the extra gas orifice.
Yep, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yes, so we do offer both. Everything has an array of colors depending on the model that you're looking at. They all have this great freshness story that I think has just carried through very, very well through Whirlpool. And you guys have done a nice job with that storytelling. So love this, love these highlights and features. Now we've talked a lot about the
Front load.
Front load.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about top load, because we have had a few questions filter through on top load. I know it's something, are we seeing top load as much in the market? I know you mentioned the stacked in 2020 and the rise of that. Is front load still number one?
So no, it actually is not. It kind of depends on the market that you're in. But we're actually seeing about a 70-30 or 60-40, depending on market, split between top load and front load. Interesting. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we are still seeing the top load space kind of dominate throughout the United States. And that's kind of illustrates, you know, we don't only want to innovate and provide consumer-driven innovation in our front load space, we have been able to do that within our top load as well.
I love that.
And so if we don't have any questions for now, we could dive into our top load features.
Yeah, let's talk about those, please.
Okay, I like it. So this is our 8720, which is the top of the line for our Whirlpool top load lineup. And this is not necessarily a completely new unit, but it illustrates a very innovation focused that we were able to add into our unit. So if you take a look in here, you can see that there is a feature that says 2-in-1 removable agitator. And so if you squeeze that handle, I will show you, you are able to remove this agitator that allows the flexibility that our consumers are looking for, because historically you have to choose between an agitator and having this true agitation against your clothing, or an impeller where you don't necessarily have that level of agitation. Here at Whirlpool, we want to make sure you guys don't have to choose.
I love that.
And so that's why we did embed this different feature set so that you can have that flexibility. And when we were actually launching this, we noticed that there were some initial trepidations around the latches getting caught with actual clothes that are going in.
Oh,
you know, how hard is it going to be to get this in and out? Is this going to be difficult to actually get your clothes snagged on? And we actually included a video here that illustrates the durability of this feature itself. So if you want to, let's take it away.
Thank you so much. That was a great video highlighting this.
Pretty durable, right?
It's so durable.
I mean, if you can lift that entire thing with the crane, I don't think that you're going to get anything stuck in there.
I totally agree with that statement. That was a good one. She's right.
Makes
She's
sense.
Right.
Big brain.
There was not just a hat rack, right?
No, it's
not. Just a
not.
hat rack. What does the agitator do? That was a question from one of our listeners, and I'm just curious, in your perspective, what an agitator does.
Yes. So. It agitates the clothes. Makes sense. But it's just a different way of cleaning your clothing so that it has something to actually beat the dirt out of your clothes itself.
Okay.
So it's something to have that dirt to be removed. Whereas if you were doing, let's say, an impeller, you are using the clothes within the machine itself to almost beat against themselves.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit less delicate of a wash, I guess, strategy than compared to impeller. However, that is statistically what we've been doing our whole
lives.
Existence.
Yes.
Exactly. It just happens that we've come up with other iterations like front load or like an impeller that don't require us to do that. Agitation is just the more classic way.
Makes sense. And so we were talking about too, like, if you're someone who has, some type of business where you're doing a lot of laundry with like linens or towels, well, actually not linens, but towels and things, this would be a good concept. But like a comforter, what would you do in a comforter situation?
See, and I love this because, like I said, we do want to provide the flexibility. That's when, if you have a comforter, I would absolutely take this unit out. You have so much space, and that you're able to kind of utilize it whichever way you actually need to.
Because I actually have one of these now. It does not remove.
Yes.
And I can't do my comforter. I have to take it to a dry cleaner or take it to a friend's house who has the space for it. So I love that this feature that you can pull this out, if you are wanting someone with a little bit more, of a clean, not necessarily clean, but just more of an impact, a different way of cleaning.
Exactly right.
Yep,
exactly.
that makes total sense.
And so what's awesome about this unit is that this actually isn't the only model that we have. While we are showing you all the 8 series, the top of the line, the shiniest one, we actually came out with this throughout the entire breadth of our Whirlpool line when we saw how successful this feature was. And so what's great is it illustrates how Whirlpool is continuing to try to expand how we are addressing consumers' concerns. And while we're not going to necessarily dive into it deep today, I do want to do a little teaser that in the October timeframe, you have to come to NFM so that you can see a new design feature that we'll be coming out within the top load line. That's going to be around the 2-in-1 removable agitator, kind of, but maybe with a different way to wash your delicates, such as athletic clothes or your actual classic delicates, and maybe a child's stuffy, if you will. Again, continuing to provide that innovation for our consumers.
I love that because, again, I have an agitator, and some of my delicates get wrapped in it, or if I've thrown in a pair of shoes or something, if I haven't removed the laces, those can get wrapped around, and it kind of causes a little bit of a havoc, but that's a great feature.
Absolutely.
And I'm so excited to see that. And you said that's in October, correct?
October, yes. So everyone can be very excited to see that on NFM's floor in October. And I'll be very excited to see how everyone thinks.
Fantastic. Well, I don't have any more questions from our listeners currently. Seems like we've covered anything that they have. Is there anything that we missed, Cassie, that we should highlight, talk about before we sign off today?
Yeah, no, I would just say, honestly, if you were going to take anything away from this presentation today, it's just focusing on how, historically, Whirlpool is seen in the industry as the laundry company, right?
Yes.
We started with laundry. We're continuing to make those investments that are consumer-driven, insights-driven, and really focusing on those pain points that our consumers need. And so when in doubt, know that Whirlpool, whether you're going to be in front load, whether you're going to be in top load, or whether you're going to be in a tower configuration, Whirlpool has a solution for you.
Oh, fantastic. Well, thank you so much
Yes,
for today.
Thank you.
I love hearing about the innovation. I love the what you guys take back from your consumers, and you kind of highlight on how the growth of it, and you take everything back, and you really try to utilize that feedback into the features that you highlight here today. So really appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for all of our viewers and listeners today. We really appreciate it. Reminder that we do have 4 locations: Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, and Dallas, where you can find this assortment. And tune in on Wednesdays around 9 o'clock for future live streams. And thank you all so much, and have a great morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.